Hello everyone, Koti Koti Abhinandanam. Today we will hear a fascinating story in ancient Indian philosophy of the great debate between Mandan Mishra and Adi Shankaracharya. We will also learn about the prominent role of Ubhay Bharti, the wife of Mandan Mishra, in deciding the winner of the Shastrarth or the debate. Ancient Indian philosophy is a treasure trove of intellectual traditions that developed over thousands of years. These schools of philosophy, known as darshans or viewpoints, offer profound insights into metaphysics, epistemology, ethics, and spirituality. These philosophical schools and spiritual practices provided diverse methods for understanding existence or purpose of human life, knowledge, and liberation. Indian philosophy is broadly divided into Astic and Nastic schools. The Astic schools accept the authority of the Vedas and are foundational to Hindu thought. The Nastic schools, such as Charvak, Buddhism, Jainism, and Ajivika, reject Vedic authority and offer diverse perspectives but have synergistically contributed to the evolution of several Astic schools. The Astic schools of Indian philosophy, including Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Mimamsa, and Vedanta, originated between 5th and 3rd century BC, nearly 2500 years ago, forming the core of Vedic thought in India. Remarkably, many of these schools trace their origins to ancient Mithila, now in modern Bihar, as seen in the works of philosophers like Rishi Gautam, Nyaya Sutra, Jaimini, Mimamsa Sutra, and Kapil Sankhya Karika, showcasing the region's rich intellectual tradition. Other major works by great philosophers such as Mandan Mishra and Vachaspati Mishra also came from the region. There was a very lively and extensively practiced tradition of formal debates called Shastrat in ancient India. These debates were conducted to examine various religious, philosophical, moral, and doctrinal issues. Today we will learn about one such historic debate that happened in 8th century India in Mithila. The debate was between two Indian philosophers, Mandan Mishra and Adi Shankaracharya. Mandan Mishra, the erudite philosopher from Mithila, advocated the philosophy of Purva Mimamsa or ritualism. Purva Mimamsa Sutra, written by Rishi Jaimini, upheld the inviolability of the Vedic texts and proposed that the Vedic rituals were central to life. The term Mimamsa means reflection or investigation, and Purva Mimamsa focuses on the interpretation of the early Vedic texts, especially the Samhitas and the Brahmanas. Purva Mimamsa neither places significant emphasis on the concept of Ishwar or a creator god, nor focuses on moksha or metaphysical liberation. Instead, it emphasizes the importance of karma or ritualistic actions over contemplation and adherence to dharma or duties and sacrifices as prescribed in the Vedas. It argues that performing rituals correctly brings prosperity, cosmic harmony, and punya or spiritual merit. Adi Shankaracharya, the youthful prodigy and proponent of Advait Vedant or non-dualism, was a sannyasi devoted to spiritual truth. Advait Vedanta interpreted the metaphysical teachings of the Upanishads, the Brahma Sutras, and the Bhagavad Gita. It emphasized the oneness of Atman or the individual soul and Brahman or the ultimate reality. According to this school, the perceived dualities of the world were Maya or illusions, and moksha or liberation could be attained through jnana or self-realization and knowledge. Shankara's teachings were a unifying call to look beyond rituals and external forms, focusing instead on the formless and eternal. The encounter between these two great minds would not just decide the fate of a debate, it would shape the course of Indian philosophy for centuries. The Shastrat between Mandan Mishra and Adi Shankaracharya. In 8th century India, Adi Shankaracharya was on the quest to meet the great philosophers of India to propagate Advait Vedanta. He arrived at Mahishi in Mithila to meet Mandan Mishra, who was known as the greatest philosopher of the era. Mahishi was a center of learning in ancient Mithila, where Mandan Mishra lived with his wife Ubhay Bharti. Adi Shankara asked the villagers about the way to Mandan Bharati Dham, the house of Mandan Mishra and Ubhay Bharti. The villagers said that he would be able to find Mandan Mishra's house easily, as even the parrots in Mahishi recited Vedic hymns in Sanskrit. As Shankara was trying to find the house, few parrots greeted him. Abhinandanam Dev Mandan Bharati Dhame Suswagatam. Shankara was amused and knocked on the wooden door. Mandan Mishra's disciple opened the door, startled by the sight of Shankara's luminous presence. He asked, "Who are you, O Holy One, and what brings you to this house?" With a smile, Shankaracharya said, "I seek a debate with Mandan Mishra, for only through him we can test the principles of dharma, karma, and moksha." Mandan Mishra was deep engrossed in working on his scriptures below the banyan tree in the courtyard, but hearing Shankara, he said, "Let the monk come in. A true seeker is always welcome in Mandan Bharti Dham." Mandan Mishra and Ubhay Bharti greeted Shankara and asked him to sit with them below the banyan tree. Mandan Mishra asked, "What is it you wish to challenge, Shankara?" Shankara said, "I want a debate on your belief in ritualism. I contend that ultimate liberation lies in realizing the unity of the Atman with Brahman, not in the performance of rituals." Mandan Mishra was startled, but agreed to the debate and asked, "And who do you want to judge such a debate?" Shankara said, "For such a debate, there would be no one more appropriate than your wife, the highly learned Ubhay Bharti. Only she would be able to comprehend the gravity of our discussion." Bharti was weaving garlands and listening to them. She accepted and said, "Such a debate must have rules. I, Bharti, shall be the judge. The loser must accept the philosophy of the victor and, if necessary, renounce their way of life." Both Mandan Mishra and Adi Shankara agreed. The Shastrarth started. The debate began the next morning in a hall adorned with Vedic symbols. Scholars, students, and villagers gathered to witness this clash of titans. Mandan Mishra spoke first, eloquently defending Purva Mimamsa. Mandan Mishra said, "The Vedas prescribe rituals not merely as obligations, but as instruments of harmony with cosmic forces. Can a society thrive on abstract philosophy alone? Rituals bind humanity to karma and dharma. Man's destiny is determined by his actions, and his actions alone, nothing else. If a man works hard, creates wealth, takes care of his family, and takes care of the needy, leads a disciplined life of moderation, then he will earn the right to health and happiness." Mandan continued, "It is only by unflinching devotion to duty, the performance of karma or rituals, and the life of virtue that pain and suffering can be eliminated." Shankara countered with calm precision, "Rituals are ladders meant to elevate the seeker, but one must not mistake the ladder for the destination. True liberation lies in realizing that the Atman, individual soul, and a Brahman, ultimate reality, are one beyond rituals and material duality." Shankara dissected Mimamsa with surgical logic, questioning its dependence on the material world. Mandan responded with unwavering conviction, asserting that Vedic rituals were the means through which cosmic harmony could be attained. The debate between Mandan Mishra and Adi Shankara continued for several days. Some say that it was for 42 days. Bharti patiently listened to their arguments. In the last debate, Bharati gave a garland to each of them and said, "The debate will now be decided by these flowers. The one who gets agitated, his garland of flowers will wilt, and he will lose." As the debate progressed, it is said that Mandan Mishra became increasingly agitated, while Adi Shankara remained calm and provided his arguments. Eventually, Mandan Mishra's garland of flowers began to wilt. True to her word, Bharti then intervened and said, "Both of you speak with brilliance, but since my husband's garland began to wilt, he has been defeated in the Shastrarth. However, no learning is complete without the experience of life." She continued, "If you defeat my husband, Shankara, then you must debate me, for I am his better half, embodying the practical wisdom of life." Ubhay Bharti continued with the Shastrarth. Bharti began, "You speak of the Atman and Brahman, but what of the pleasures and pains of worldly existence? Are they not real to the individual?" Shankara said, "Pleasure and pain are experiences of the mind, which is but a reflection of the ego. Once the ego dissolves, so do the dualities of life." But Bharti's questions became more intricate, delving into grihast or married life. These were alien to a celibate monk like Shankara. Therefore, Bharti concluded, "How can you claim to know the world when you have renounced it? Can wisdom be complete without experiencing life in its entirety?" Shankara paused, recognizing the depth of her challenge, and said that he will always remain in the pursuit of Gyan or complete knowledge. Bharati blessed Shankara, acknowledging that his victory was not just intellectual but spiritual. She said, "Once you achieve the full knowledge of life, you will be even more victorious, Shankara." It didn't just end here. Now let us see what happened after the Shastrarth. It is said that Mandan Mishra, true to his word, renounced ritualism and became a sannyasi or ascetic, adopting the Advait Vedant philosophy. Bharati followed her husband in becoming a sannyasi herself. Adi Shankaracharya requested Mandan Mishra to become the head of the first of the four mutt that he established in Sringeri in Karnataka. He became Sureshacharya and wrote several important commentaries on Advait Vedanta. The tale of this legendary debate reverberated across India, inspiring generations to pursue knowledge with humility and to recognize the interconnectedness of all existence. It also brought Ubhay Bharati to the forefront as a distinguished Indian philosopher, celebrated for her exemplary fairness and wisdom in adjudicating the profound exchange between two towering intellectuals. The debate exemplifies the richness of India's philosophical diversity and the power of respectful dialogue in uncovering truth. It reminds us that tolerance and open-mindedness toward differing ideas enrich the collective wisdom of society. In a world of increasing polarization, this ancient story inspires us to embrace pluralism and engage in meaningful conversations that honor the value of every perspective.